Good evening to those listening. It is January 30th, 2026, 6:15 p.m. and going to describe my two dreams. So I kind of wrote it down a little bit. So in the first dream, I was like in my old city of Davenport. At least that's what it kind of looked like to me. And all of a sudden, a building came off its foundations and started moving. And it was moving like down the street, and it was like destroying everything in its path, including streets and other buildings. And it would literally just like smash into the other buildings and destroy the buildings, but it itself, that building, wouldn't, it was still intact and didn't fall apart or anything. And it was just destroying buildings. I don't know, it was really weird. So, in the dream, I had to walk. There was somebody else with me, but I don't know who they were. And we had to walk a certain way. And I don't know why I'm not driving. I've noticed a lot of my dreams now, I'm walking in the dreams instead of driving. Maybe that has to do with because my car's broke down and I'm literally have to walk or get other rides from other people to get anywhere, at least until it warms up. Weird. But I remember just walking this long way, and we got to where we needed to cross over to get to the destination, which I'm not even sure where it was. And it was blocked off because of the building that destroyed everything. So then I had to go backtrack all the way back and then go around another way. And then there was something going on with the police where somebody was being chased by the police or something, but it didn't seem to affect me or the person I was walking with or anybody else that was in the dream. And then as I was walking down this other street, there was this store, like a little shop inside of that was on the streets. And it had a woman in the shop was blowing up balloons, not, with her mouth, but, blowing them up with the machine thing. And there was all these people around buying balloons. Everybody's buying balloons. So she had to keep hurrying up and blowing up more balloons to sell to people. And there was just a whole bunch of balloons all everywhere right around the shop, and then people that bought them outside. Because she was like inside and out, like going inside. This is a new part that I remembered. She was inside and they came outside with the balloons. That's different. That's something weird. And then after that, just kind of walked on forward, and that was it. So that was one dream. Weird. And let me know if you guys have any ideas of what some of these things can mean. But then the other one, I was in Washington State, and I was at Marfugel's house. Well, I don't know what his house looks like, but it was his house in the dream. And I don't know, I remember knocked on the door, and then he opened it up and let me in, and we were talking, and I remember looking back outside, out the door or out the window, and it was beautiful, like beautiful hills, green grass, trees. It looked just beautiful. Sky was blue. Everything just looked perfect. Like it was really beautiful. And then he like went off somewhere, and I was in like it was when I went in. I didn't actually go in the house. It was like a big giant porch, like closed in porch. And when he went away from it, I was looking at this thing that was there. It was a large cylindrical tube-like thing, and it was really super tall. And it was sectioned off into 4 sections up, and there was people inside of them. I called it an apartment, but they're not apartments, but it was just it was like they were enclosed in a case. But what was really weird was like right inside of the no, it was on the outside. Or no, it was on the inside. Huh. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was on the inside of the glass. There was like a thin layer of plastic or something that held water. So there was water inside of the tube, inside of plastic, and it went all the way up, and it was divided off. And there was one person I know for sure that was in the bottom little space. And while I was thinking about it, I was like, what if this thing bursts open, or or leaks, and it floods Marfugel's house? So I was like, okay, so I turned it so it would face the door, so if it did burst or leak, that it would go out the door and not flood Marfugel's house. So I better get going here. All right, so then Marfugel says that he was hungry and he wanted to go to lunch, but he said he wanted to eat American food, which was weird. So then we're driving, he's driving, and as we're driving to the restaurant, I look at my wallet, and I only have $7, a $5 bill and 2 ones. And so then I thought to myself, oh, well, I'll have to use a credit card. And as we were driving to the restaurant, we went down an alley. And in the middle of the alley, there was something in the alley. I told him to stop. And I got out and looked. It was like a giant cow, metal cow, like sheet metal. And I said, hey, you should use this for your show. And he said, no, I don't want to use that. I don't want to get caught and, for stealing. And I said, well, it's just sitting here in the middle of the alley. It's not considered stealing. So then he agreed to take it. And I told him that you can use it on your show. And when you're talking about stories, you can say, all right, we're going to be moving on to the next story. Corny, but yeah. So weird. And there's a part of me looking in my wallet and finding $7 that relates to something else, which I'm not sure if I'm going to have time to tell you. But it has, I was trying to see if I could get a ride to my doctor's appointment. And if I took a shuttle, it would cost me $7, $3.50 for each way. So I thought that was and somebody pointed that out, thank you, that's what that $7 could mean, which is weird because I just found that out when I was trying to start my car, which wouldn't start today. I'll leave it kind of there. All right. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. If there's anything you might think of what some things might mean in the dream. God bless.